Welcome to the first. Oh god, that's an ass. Okay.
Just speak up a little.
Welcome. Oh, okay. Welcome everybody to the first episode of GWADcast, or for short, just GWAD. It's just us and Jeremy. Oh fuck! Should I have said your name?
It doesn't matter if my name is said.
I feel like I should have gone by. Shit, what do you go by?
Glazed. What do you go by?
Should we go by an alias, or should we just like?
I mean,
because I feel like our usernames are kind of cringy to call ourselves.
I don't really. You could just call me Jeremy.
Yeah, we just gotta get into the flow of this.
All right.
Like the first minute has just been us just like organizing it.
Yeah.
But this is unscripted, so it's raw.
All right. Welcome to GWAD podcast.
Kind of hard to do intros. Feels scripted a bit, but it's just an intro. We're only gonna do this, and then we're just gonna be, I guess, gonna go to the topic. What is the topic?
So the topic is the introduction to the channel. Like, what are our goals? What are we gonna do with this channel?
Right.
So
to the vision.
You guys probably don't, like, it's very unlikely that you do know my channel, but my original channel, but
this is so shitty. Okay, we gotta like throw it back and forth. Where like I kind of comment and then I throw it to you.
Okay.
So let's see if I can try to do that. Like throwing it back and forth. So the topic is, what is the vision for the entirety of this? So it's already been sloppy, so we probably don't have everything sorted out, but the entire well, I guess I do have to get your take on this as well, but what my envisionment of the podcast is to basically see how far we can go with this. There's really like no like solid thing about this. I don't know if this is going to be like a school podcast, or we're going to mostly talk about school or just life. Really this is just going to be like talking about whatever comes up. We aren't very much centered on one topic, and if we are going to be, then I guess that's just going to naturally happen. So what do you think, Jeremy? What do you think is going to be this podcast?
So I guess like,
yeah, like what do you see?
Literally anything.
What do you see? Where do you see us going from like a year? Imagine, no, maybe not that much, but like, actually, yeah. Let's say we're doing this for a year. Let's say we're like consistent. What do you see? You don't have to be like we're like specifically doing this or anything, but like, what do you think would happen? What do you think would be different?
I guess cameras would be more used consistently.
We're planning to get cameras. I have mine, but yeah. Should I go like germ?
What?
Germs? Yeah, I guess I'll just call you. God, this feels so weird. What was I saying? No cameras, right? I have my camera, and it can run, but I don't know. It feels weird to just me have my camera on and Jeremy not to have his. So we're just gonna wait until he gets that set up, and we can have cameras officially rolling. But nobody's really gonna watch this, so this is mainly just early footage for now. Yeah. Is it early footage?
Yes.
What would you call this? Is it? Do you think this is just early footage, or like, well, what do you see this as?
Hold on. What do you mean by early footage?
Do you think this is just like early footage, or like, do you think people are gonna come back to see this, or like this will just be forgotten?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just something to start. Yeah, something to start.
So. Yeah, to get us into the rhythm. I don't actually watch podcasts very much. What do you watch podcasts?
Not really, but
right. Yeah, well, we obviously can't get yes because nobody would give a shit about this podcast. What? I honestly don't know that. Like, what makes a good podcast? obviously guests, but
Yeah, guests.
like every podcast has to have
Something.
I guess most
Something
podcasts
different.
that are like pretty big are like people that are already famous and they just couldn't transfer their community. Like,
Right.
I guess really people want to like a sense of like originality and like getting a bit comfortable. If they're gonna be like 0 viewer like podcast type of vibe.
Yeah.
Because like because we don't have a community obviously. And if we did, they really wouldn't care. Like jack shit. They'd probably watch like one episode and just be like, yeah, these guys are fucking boring. So
We're basically starting from nothing.
Yeah, we're starting for nothing. We don't have a community. We don't have very much anybody that's like loyal, as we can say.
Yeah.
And really, we're pretty much hoping that the algorithm hits this, which the only way they can is if we just pump out content and just stay consistent with it. Or maybe we could running a marketing act. The 2 ways I can see growing this is either algorithm or we market it somehow. Both of which are honestly kind of one's kind of plausible, but like none of us know how to market effectively. So yeah, for now this is just gonna be like early content, a bunch of random fucking episodes that are unorganized.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't have to be organized. It's just random topics, like, and it'll be easy to be consistent because, like, each day we would have, like, at least, like, we planned this to be 10 minutes. 10 minutes isn't a lot each day. Like, we're already at 8 minutes right now.
8 minutes.
Yeah.
Like how we're just going for time. Oh, so it should, what's our minimum that we're making this? Like 10 minutes for the first episode?
No, it doesn't matter how long. This is just the introduction, so.
Well, we that's a pretty bare bones, but we shared a vision. I guess you can say that's a pretty bare image. Of course, we don't really know what to call this. So we're just going to see where it goes. But the more we do it, the more we really open ourselves and just really talk about stuff, random shit, just get comfortable with this. So this is kind of weird, honestly. It's not natural, but, things get natural over practicing it. So let's see. Oh, right. Like, who are we? So we shared our podcast. Obviously, they can see our name. I'll probably put a description later and all that jazz. But who, like, why should you care? Who are we? Or maybe you don't even care, but all we had to be is somebody. We're not bots. So let's see. Okay, so I guess I can do Jim, do you want to like go first? You want me to go first? To give like a short introduction
about
like who are we?
Okay.
Or who are you? You can just ask them.
What do you mean?
Well, no, not ask them, but like you like just introducing yourself. Like who are you? Or who should they like see you as? Like who is Glazed? Who's Jeremy?
So I guess I mean, I've been on YouTube before and I've tried to build something before, but it hasn't been consistent. Not as much as like this. I feel like it'll be a lot more consistent to where I actually build like, what is it, like an image, I guess, or profile,
right, an image,
yeah, like,
or like a project.
No, like an idea of who I am.
Oh, an idea, right? Okay, right. So we're not trying to like go out of our way and like really just give her like address, date of birth, and social security or anything like that. We're just trying to like give a, I guess you could say, like a reputation. What do we try to do before this? Because obviously we're sure as hell not like fresh out the womb, so we have a life. We've experienced something before this. So as for me, I've tried 2 times, and I think 3. I think I tried like an early attempt to upload content, but it was pretty shitty. It was like 2014, you know, that really old. I don't remember. Although I have tried making vlogging style videos, which I was consistent for a while, but I ditched it, and I also ditched the channel. Mainly did that because, like, I don't know, it's really like a battle for consistency. Like, sometimes you don't want to do it, sometimes you don't know if anybody's watching, and it's like so disengaging. It's kind of like talking like into a void. Like, in the beginning it's like you're speaking into a void. Like
recently when I've streamed on my, because that's all I could pretty much do, because editing takes so much time, and like
he doesn't stream daily.
Streaming is so much easier. I haven't been streaming daily, not recently, but when I was, it was just it's just me, you know.
Yeah, no, it's just him, and
I guess that's part,
you know, they're like on and off viewers. You had like 1 or 2 viewers, right? Yeah, maybe like 2. Like maybe if he's lucky, he gets like 3. But like 2 is just like maybe there's somebody he knows. Like maybe somebody in our friend group just, you know, pops by to see what we're doing. But
like overall, I feel like this has more potential than my own channel.
Right, I think it's lower maintenance really, because this is going to be mainly audio, although you know, we can always scale it. We can always add cameras and graphics and stuff so that this is higher budget, so it's a little more interactive. Not so much interactive actually, just kind of like it looks proper, right? Because we don't want to really look like super low budget, but really most podcasts, you know, people just don't actually look at the graphics, they just put on the audio. So we might as well master the first thing about podcasts that are important, which is audio portion of it. You know, really the character. You want to be able to like put your phone down and still feel like you're interacting with the podcast or the content. So we don't have any particular value. Do we? Well, no. You. Jeremy's an artist, and I'm kind of an amateur artist, really. I tried animating. He's animated way better shit than me. Because he has way more practice. I have a lot more
experience, but I feel like amateur in animating, but more experience in like 2D art, you know. But there's a lot still left to learn. Like, there's a lot that I can improve on.
Right. In general, his techniques are more developed than mine. I guess you could say at most, really what I'm good at art is just seeing the vision of the art. Although I haven't focused on art in a while because I've been partially trying to build an agency, a marketing agency, because I think that business is a lot more scalable. And unfortunately, I'm kind of looking at it in the money perspective, which probably isn't the smartest, because, you know, you're shooting for money. If you get money, right? You'll probably never. No, I'm talking about business and my side of things. So I'm not really sure about Jeremy's vision. He kind of just likes drawing, I assume.
Vision.
Why do you draw?
For what? In general?
Like, why do you want to even draw? Why do you continue to do it?
Honestly, it just stuck with me. Like, I guess back then I did want to pursue that, but now that I see things more differently, like it's like more serious, and personally there's a lot less potential to pursue art for myself, so I just kept that as a hobby, something on the side.
Right, but I feel like in every what can you call it? What's it called? In every occupation, I think that, or in any like thing you want to monetize, you really have to at some point
advertising. Like, it's also helpful for a lot of that, like YouTube.
Yeah. Well, the marketing isn't so much needed anymore. You really just need to kind of break the algorithm and just blow up that way, because, you know, people are just fucking scrolling for hours and just clicking on random shit, really. The more intriguing it looks, the more clicky it looks, then the more they just kind of check it out. Because, I mean, if they don't check it out, then they don't care. And they don't really care. But yeah, I guess if you're really, like, you can kind of monetize art, but I guess you could say, yeah, that's really, it's hard. What? I wonder. I've tried to read books about like what feeling should you like go for when you're like trying to do something you love. But like you gotta. Well, yeah, because like you're going off feeling, right? You're not like logically thinking about it. You can't like logically process it all, or else it's not really fun. And at that point, you can just kind of like, I don't know, logic. For some people, logic is fun. You like somebody like Ben Shapiro or something that are just like logical thinkers. But for the most part, you gotta feel something about your work.
Right.
Well, yeah. You have to like doing your work in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to like ask, what should I be feeling in order, like, I guess you should feel that you like it. But like, what else? There has to be more to it. Because if it was that easy, then everybody would just kind of catch on at some point. And I've read a book on Robert Greene, and he taps into the idea that like, as a kid, you do feel what you love, but the more you start to like grow and, you know, just turn to like a full-blown adult, right? Mature, you can say. Mature, better word. The more you start to mature, the more that society just starts to say this, that, and this. And they kind of just sway your narrative. They really don't let you, they really just kind of, how do I say this? They kind of like poison you in a way. Poison your like original thought or original opinion on something, and you just start doubting yourself, and then you just think to yourself, okay, I shouldn't do this anymore because I can't make X, I can't do X, and in the long term
unrealistic or something.
Yeah, it's kind of demotivating at times.
Yeah.
But yeah, what Robert Greene talks about is that you can rediscover it, in the sense that shit, I gotta pick up the book again if I really want to get on like the specific points about it. But he did bring up a story about like Leonardo Da Vinci, where like Leonardo Da Vinci is famous for making a bunch of projects and incorporating like a bunch of ideas into it. The closest person I can probably compare like the modern day Da Vinci to is like Tony Stark, I guess you could say. Just kind of mixes and mashes things together, except Tony Stark's more of like a engineer type focused sort of fantasy, I guess you could say, or fiction. But you know, Leonardo da Vinci was 100% real. You know, there's a bunch of documents and like artworks of his. Back to what I was saying. When he was dying, right? When he was like at the final moments of his life, where like you can kind of feel when you're about to die. You know, you see somebody like old walking past you, and you can kind of see like their arms shake. You know, they kind of felt that when he was about to die, and he had like a coffin and everything set up. Like he kind of knew he was gonna die, obviously, being the guy who was, high IQ and everything. Just set up his deathbed and kind of laid in it. But apparently every person that kind of achieves that like purpose, you could say, they kind of achieve their purpose, right? They always recall that when they achieve their purpose, in the middle of like finding it, really, they hear like some sort of calling or like a voice. For some reason, even somebody like I've heard stories like Robert Greene is the source of these stories. I've heard stories of like even somebody like Martin Luther King essentially heard like the voice of God, which is pretty crazy. I mean, Jeremy, do you believe in God?
Yeah.
What's your like stance on religion, really? Do you think it's bullshit, like 100%?
Not 100%. Like, I think it's more like my own personal beliefs instead of like what is expected for you to believe by other people, you know.
Do you believe that there's like a higher power, or do you think this is all just kind of happened by chance? Like out of all the odds that everything happened, like life occurred, do you think that like some higher force like manipulated the odds? No, like do you think just like a higher force manipulated the odds of like humanity being created, or do you think that was just like a, you know, shit just kind of happened at the right time at the right place?
Personally,
I guess it's kind of depressing.
But yeah,
it's kind of depressing to kind of think.
Yeah,
it's kind of depressing to think at times. I guess that comes more into philosophy, really. But like, imagine like not believing in God. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, you know. If you're atheist, whatever. But like, really, when you're atheist, you could say it's just depressing because like you don't have something to look up to. You don't have a
kind of just see like
guide.
You live and then
you don't have any guidance. You kind of just believe that like things happen by coincidence. Nothing really matters. And like almost every atheist I've seen kind of goes into like insanity because they're just like nothing matters. They get like nihilistic where like a sun's just gonna blow up, people are just gonna die, and I'm gonna be forgotten. You know, my gravestone is just gonna be like swept up and there's just gonna be a parking lot built on top of me. And that kind of way of like living life is just like you can't really live life if you're just thinking things just happen. And like, of course you can live life, but if you really think about like, can you feel alive knowing that like things are just gonna end, having that like nihilistic view?
It like that thought like varies kind of like, I think everyone has thought of that at some point, whether you believe in something different or not.
But like, would you surround yourself with those type of people?
Personally,
do you really think it's valuable?
I don't care who, as long as like.
But like paint the picture that like somebody's like nihilistic as hell in front of you. Like they just don't give a shit about God. They're like, fuck that idea, and they're like, man, why are you doing anything?
Right.
It doesn't matter.
At that point,
we're gonna die.
At that point, if it depends on how long I've known them or how much, how close I am to them, but I guess if it's a random person at that point.
Yeah, I guess it's a lot easier to just cut off a random person, right?
Yeah.
But I guess people change, really. Sometimes people just, like, you know, similar to like God, people just gonna look up to somebody. Like, essentially you have to see somebody above you in order for you to, like, just take their word for it. Because if you were to just, like, because I guess some people just don't really process something, and they just kind of take somebody as like the absolute. Kind of like with like Andrew Tate, a lot of people don't necessarily question his ways. They kind of just take him as like the, you're right, you're 100% right all the time, and they just don't like sit and like process that. They don't really like put their own opinions and like principles on that and put a spin on it and make it their own. They just kind of take their idea and don't change anything about it, and they just take it as like, you're 100% right. shit, I forgot what we were talking about. I was zoned out there. I got zooted. I don't even know what that word means. I heard it on like Twitch once.
Well, do you think we should end it here?
How long has it been going?
We are in 27
Minutes?
Yes, 27
Oh, that's good
minutes.
content. Yeah, that's plenty.
Yeah, we planned 10 minutes, but this
Yeah, but
went from
planned-
an introduction to actually a topic.
Yeah.
The title's gonna be like, what's the purpose of life?
Yeah, like
Or
we
something
could
like
put
that.
like intro
Introduction and then like a
plus.
yeah
Intro plus.
some title, I don't know, but it was good for a first episode.
It was decent. You gotta practice like throwing it back and stuff like that, but that's practice.
Wait, what?
No, like I meant like throwing the conversation back and forth.
Right, yeah.
So it's like more interactive.
Yeah.
So I'm not just like talking here all the time. But I guess eventually you'll have your own take on something.
Yeah.
And you'll just want to go like a full blown take. So
I will.
we're just gonna do that sometimes, but we want to keep it interactive in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
For now, it's mainly gonna be like getting to know us because we don't have a guest, so we can't get to know them.
Right.
We're not popular.
Right.
Either,
For now,
so you might as well explain yourselves.
it's better if we
Just get comfortable,
Yeah. Well.
Right. So 27 minutes. What have you said?
28 minutes. Now.
Well, now 28. If we want to,
Well,
we could just
I'm gonna cut out.
make it to 30.
I'm gonna cut out the beginning.
You what? What'd you say?
I'm gonna cut out like the beginning part where we were like planning everything.
Oh, okay. If you want to do that, I don't know how easy it is to edit, so I'm sure it's easy if you get like an app or something. But yeah. Okay. We can end it there.
Outro.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and play the outro.
Why isn't it playing? Oh yeah, you're gonna have to type skip because some of my keys are set to mute certain sounds. Like
Okay, skip number
like
1.
the M key mutes my mic.
Alright, go ahead.
Here we go.
There it is. Dude, you gotta play the one that like gets straight to the beat. There's like a cut snippet of it where it's like closer to the beat. Although I think the build up. Should we keep the build up? Where it's like a long ass build up?
Yes, we gotta keep it.
Wow.
So that the viewers suffer.
Alright, we're coming to a wrap now. And we got out about as much as we could in the first episode. And now we're just gonna finish it off with a goodbye.
Yes.
And we'll be back soon. Tomorrow.
We'll probably
hopefully,
record
so
one
we can
tomorrow
keep it
too.
Yeah, we usually do this pretty late, so
Yeah.
that's been about it.
End off the day.
And the beat's gonna drop.
It's been real. And goodbye.
Peace.